Let's jump right into it. Today, we're exploring a practice that literally anchors over 1 billion people worldwide, the 5 daily prayers in Islam. But look, we're not just going over the basic what today. We're diving deep into the historical origins of this practice to uncover the why and the how. You know, it's so easy from the outside to look at daily religious routines and just see them as, well, chores or rigid obligations. But the source material we're breaking down in this explainer frames it completely differently. It asks us to look at prayer not as some heavy burden, but as an exclusive, daily invitation. Let's look at exactly how that works.
So I want to ask you something directly, and I really want you to think about this. Would you answer 5 personal invitations from Allah every single day? The text starts by painting this picture of a busy city, people rushing everywhere, just completely caught up in the absolute hustle and noise of everyday life. We all know that exact feeling, right? You're sprinting from one task to the next, checking off boxes. But then, right in the middle of all that chaos, an invitation arrives. Actually, 5 personal invitations arrive every single day. When you frame it like that, as a personal invitation from the Creator, the whole dynamic shifts. It changes from something you have to do to something you get to do. You're being invited to step out of the crazy rush and step into a profound moment of connection.
Now, to truly grasp the deep reverence for these 5 prayers, we have to travel back to a massive, pivotal point in history. According to the texts, these prayers didn't just slowly evolve over centuries like some cultural habit. No, they were established during a profoundly significant, miraculous event known as the Isra and Mi'raj, the night journey. This was the exact historical moment where the structural connection between the divine and daily human life was permanently forged. During this journey, Allah honored the Prophet Muhammad with the gift of the 5 daily prayers. And I really want to emphasize the language used here, honored and gift. Historically speaking, this is the precise moment prayer became obligatory, but it was presented as an immense honor. It was a direct gift given during a miraculous journey, not just some administrative rule. Understanding this historical origin completely transforms how the practice is viewed today. It wasn't handed down as a punishment, it was literally the ultimate divine gift.
And that historical gift translates into a highly practical daily reality. We see this continuous, grounding rhythm spanning a full 24-hour cycle. We've got Fajr at sunrise, Dhuhr at midday, Asr in the afternoon, Maghrib at sunset, and Isha at night. This isn't just a modern schedule we came up with. This is the exact rhythm established during that historical night journey, carried forward unbroken through centuries. Imagine moving through your day, participating in a tradition that links you directly back to that original miraculous moment. It covers everything from the quiet beauty of a sunrise before the world wakes up to the absolute peak of the midday rush, the fading afternoon, the exact second the sun dips below the horizon, and finally, the stillness of the night. People perform these prayers in all sorts of different settings, sure, but this ancient timeline acts as a massive spiritual anchor. It ensures that no matter how chaotic modern life gets, you have these built-in, mandatory moments to just reconnect and recalibrate.
Okay, so we have the historical origin, and we have this unbroken daily timeline. But what actually happens internally during these moments? The source breaks down the specific mechanics of the prayer into 4 really dynamic steps. Step 1, pause. You are actively slamming the brakes on that busy city life we talked about earlier. Step 2, remember Allah. You're consciously shifting your focus away from the material world and into the spiritual. Step 3, seek forgiveness. This is a moment of deep humility, really resetting your intentions. And step 4, avoid immorality. This highlights how the internal act of prayer actively works to keep your heart connected and protected long after you've finished praying. It's an incredibly active, engaging process. Every single prayer on that daily timeline is a repetition of this exact, precise process, continuously linking the individual straight back to that original divine gift.
And you know, this internal process triggers a really profound external shift. Sincere prayer actively acts as a shield against immorality and wrongdoing. It actively pulls a person toward a guided heart and sincere, kind actions. The source specifically points out a Quranic teaching emphasizes this dynamic transformation. It beautifully illustrates this by describing someone smiling after prayer, going out, helping others, and just showing up with kindness in their community. The internal mechanics we just broke down, the pausing, the remembering, the seeking forgiveness, they act as a powerful catalyst. They are continuously moving the individual away from negativity and pushing them toward positive community impact. It's just an incredibly dynamic view of how a deeply historical practice serves as a very modern tool for constant self-improvement.
Which brings us to the ultimate goal, and exactly why the source material is so adamant about never missing your next prayer. Fundamentally, it's not a burden. It's a dual promise forged in history, a path to peace in this life and success in the hereafter.
And that is a massive takeaway. The 5 daily prayers aren't just about securing something in the afterlife. They're equally about achieving peace right now, today, right in the middle of all the modern-day chaos. This ancient practice literally grounds the practitioner, providing earthly tranquility while simultaneously working towards eternal success. It beautifully, flawlessly bridges the gap between the present moment and eternity. The source summarizes this beautiful dynamic perfectly with this line: "Guard your prayers, and Allah will guide your heart." Let's just sit with that for a second. Guard your prayers, and Allah will guide your heart. Notice the powerful relationship established there. The action required by you, the individual, is to guard those prayers, to fiercely protect that time, to deeply value that historical gift, and to answer those 5 daily invitations no matter what distractions pop up. And the result? The promise given in return is the ultimate guidance of the heart. The discipline of honoring that physical, daily timeline leads directly to profound internal, spiritual guidance. So we've explored how a pivotal historical event, the night journey, established this enduring daily rhythm of 5 prayers that serve to pause, reset, and guide the hearts of millions. It is such a fascinating look at how a structured spiritual routine transforms everyday life and bridges centuries of practice. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to turn it back to you with a final thought to reflect on. Whether you observe this faith or not, what practices anchor your daily routine and guide your heart? What are your invitations to pause in a busy world? Think about it. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this fascinating historical and spiritual topic. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.